Hi, my name is Carissa Turway. I'm with Mimaki. Today we'll be going over the Cut Edit tab in RasterLink. So before we get started, I'm going to bring into the RasterLink a file that I've made specifically for this demonstration. I have this file on my desktop. I go to find it. It's going to open it. Now when it opens, it is going to see the cut lines and the artwork. As you see here, this is the artwork that I want to be printed, and my cut lines come in and they are layered together. So I'm going to go over to Illustrator real quick so that you guys understand how I have named my cut lines. So as you see, for my contour cut, I have used a spot color named Cut Contour. For my half cut, which is this blue line, that cut line I have named Cut Contour Half. The machine needs to have a spot color that is named Cut Contour. Capital C on the cut, capital C on the contour with no space in between. What I have done is I have added a new swatch. When you add a new swatch, of course you can name Cut Contour 3, Cut Contour 5, in case you want to use your tools that you want to do. Again, you want to make sure that color type is set to a spot color. I like to use 100% cyan or again 100% magenta. So now we're back into RasterLink and we will come over here to the general print area. In the general print area, you'll have two tabs up here at the top. You will have the Image Edit tab and the Cut Edit tab. If your lines did not come in correctly, you will not see the Cut Edit tab. The Cut Edit tab will not appear in jobs that do not have cut lines on it. As you can see, there's two different cut lines in my artwork. We'll go through the Image Edit area really quick. Again, this is where you can scale a job. When you scale something, your cut lines scale as well, which is nice in case you want to change the size of your artwork. You can rotate your artwork here. You can also decide if you want to put margins on the scan position. Remember, in your positions or anytime you see scan or feed in RasterLink, scan is right to left, the way your head moves across the material, and feed is going to be up and down, or the way that your material feeds in and out of your machine. So what I always like to do first is I like to make sure and put my crop marks on first. So adding crop marks, remember that the larger your artwork is, the larger the recommended crop mark size is going to be. So that's why I like to put my crop marks in first, so that I know if I come back and do copies after that, how many copies I can actually get that will include my crop mark area. So I love doing these. So here I'm going to put 12 copies on here. So the layout is a little bit different than the position. Layout is actually going to put area in between the individual copies that you're wanting to do. So in the crop mark area, we'll go through a little bit here. Again, this is the mark size. You can make it as big or as little as you want, but I always suggest using that recommended crop mark size. Line width. When you When you're using reflective materials or a metallized vinyl, such as silvers or a mirrored vinyl, sometimes the laser will reflect back off of that material, so it's best to be able to use the fill-in around your registration mark and to increase that line width a little bit, and that will help ensure that the machine picks up that crop mark. Also, the add print direction mark, what that does is it tells you which way, if you're going to take the material off and to laminate it and bring it back to the machine, then that print direction mark is on there so that you load that material back in correctly, so that when you go to cut it, it cuts correctly. So the search position area that you see down here is important, especially when you're going to use a different location. So in this location, you see right now I have it selected as individual. Individual means that it's going to put crop marks around each individual artboard. Whole area means that you're going to put crop marks just around the whole area of copies. Now you'll see that I can actually put in my media area here that I can actually get 2 more copies than if I'm going to use an individual mark. But also remember that the more marks you use, the more accurate the cut's going to be. So if your cut is going to be simplified, maybe just round circles, or you're just wanting to cut out your sheets, then it is great to be able to use that whole. If you're doing very intricate cuts, you will definitely want to use the individual crop marks that will put crop marks around your individual artboards. So the search position first time means the first time that the machine is going to come out and read the crop marks. This indicates how many of the crop marks you want it to read. So I always use the first time to use all 4 of my crop marks, and if I want to save on time, then when I continue the cutting to cut the other copies that I'm doing, then I will just select the front 2, and that will save in some of your cutting time. So after we have the copies set how we want it and our crop marks on, then we are ready to go to the Cut Edit tab. So we're in the Cut Edit tab. The Cut Edit tab allows you to take the cut lines that you've created in your artwork and designate a cut condition that you've set up on your machine, and you have test cut on your machine, and use those settings in RasterLink for your artwork. So if you've set up your cut tool 1 for a cut contour cut, and maybe you've set up tool 2 or tool 5 for a half cut, then this is a place you will want to indicate to the software that you are wanting to use one of the cut contour conditions that you have already set up on your machine and have test cut for your material. So for cut contour, you'll see that I'm going to come down to the cut condition, and I'm going to put the user definition selected. This allows you to see the tools for your machine. Again, these are the 7 tools that you have on the machine, as well as your pen tool. And so I'm going to select the cut 1 here because I have set up my machine for cut 1, the cut condition to be for the contour cut. I'm going to push apply, and you'll see in the cut condition area here that it changes to the user definition. My cut contour half, I have selected cut 2 on my machine to have the half cut option. So I'm going to go to user definition again, select cut 2, and again hit apply.